Herman Mashaba has hit back at former ActionSA councillor Abel Tau, who says he is going to court to have his expulsion from the party set aside. Tau has today announced that his new party, United Africans Transformation, will contest the 2024 elections. Mashaba has also rubbished claims that Tau will diminish ActionSA's support in Tshwane. Well, Govan Whittles is standing by to speak to the man himself and to hear his own words, who no doubt has a lot to say. Govan, it's over to you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dudu. Thank you so much. Mr. Herman Mashaba joins us to get a response to these plans by Abel Tau, and he's also agreed to speak about the country's energy crisis. Let's get straight into it. Mr. Mashaba, thank you so much for your time. So Abel Tau today announcing he'll go to the High Court to set aside his expulsion from ActionSA. What do you make of this?
Well, I think, Mr. Tau, like all the 60 million South Africans, we have our constitutional rights, and it's up to him to really exercise that. And I think, for us as ActionSA, we cannot really stop him. Fortunate enough, because he's not a member of our party, there's absolutely no point whatsoever for us to respond to him. We can only wish him well.
He claims that he has support from ActionSA members in Tshwane and that he will diminish your support there. What do you think?
Good luck to him. What else can I say? Good luck to him. I think we live in a constitutional democracy. How ActionSA started, obviously, if ActionSA had the right to start, I think anyone else, including Abel Tau or anyone else, they have the right to form their own political structures and mobilize South Africans behind what they stand for.
Let's move to the energy crisis then. We know that a number of opposition parties are mobilizing against stage 6 load shedding, many of them in different ways. What is ActionSA's response to what appears to be increasing mobilization against load shedding? What do you believe needs to be done?
Look, I think South Africans have the duty to really mobilize civil society in particular, for them to really be aware of this crisis that we are facing. It's a crisis of enormous challenge for the country, because for as long as we've got ANC government in power, forget about solving Eskom's problems. I think this problem has been around, 12, 14 years or even more. You remember the current president, December 2014, was given the responsibility to turn around Eskom by President Jacob Zuma by then. And since then, he's been promising us that he'll sort out the matter, including the recent cancellation of going to Davos, which I know... Going to Davos, his cancellation of going to Davos, the only thing, the benefit that South Africa will get is obviously saving the cost of him going over. But solving Eskom's challenges, that's not going to happen. Why? I say so, it's not going to really happen. Because sorting out Eskom, you need political will to ensure that you can deal with a level of corruption that's really happening in that entity. Because, Eskom was like a bank robbery. They've really crippled ANC, cadres, crippled that organization, including obviously putting in the people who are not capable of delivering, because they were put into this position because of who they know, not what they knew. So you can imagine if for anyone to sort out the Eskom, that basically means probably half of the ANC leadership will be in jail for the level of corruption they've been involved in looting that system. So right now, for me, as far as I'm concerned, the only way we're going to sort out Eskom is the removal of ANC. This is not going to be our first order of business. If anyone, you live under illusion that you can sort out Eskom with ANC, is tantamount to asking car hijackers to assist us to deal with car hijacking in the country. For me, it's the same as saying we have massive security breaches in prison, so we must work with the prisoners to sort out this matter. So how can anyone expect us to really work with the ANC, who created this problem, and expect to really work with them? So the removal of ANC has to really be the first order of business. But once you've put the ANC out of government, you obviously have to really act. Act immediately in ensuring that you bring back the scorpions, make sure that they deal with levels of corruption so that the rule of law in South Africa is respected. Make sure that you put in capable people from the board of Eskom, put in professional engineers, accountants, lawyers, because obviously you don't just really need engineers. You need people with financial skills, with legal skills to really deal with this matters. Take the unions out of this matter. The unions have got a role to play, but at the end of the day, this country is in a crisis. We need to really sort out the ESCOM, because without ESCOM functioning, South Africa's economy is not going to recover.
So do you think that there is a short-term solution here, considering some of the action that's been taken now through the courts by opposition parties and planned mass demonstrations? They're hoping this will yield a positive result. What's your view on a potential short-term solution to load shedding?
Well, I think one thing that is going to come out of this is President Cyril Ramaphosa telling us that he's going to sort out ESCOM in 2 years or in 2 months' time, and we know that's a lie. I mean, the president of our country, we know lying for him is second nature.
Let's just move quickly before we have to wrap, because we are on limited time. ActionSA is contesting in by-elections that are coming up in a number of areas, and this will be the measure on whether or not you would be able to unseat the ANC as you've mentioned as your intention. How is your performance projected to be in these by-elections?
Well, I think we've got a very exciting one coming out in Ward 10 in Mulechi, in Seshego, on the 25th of this month. That's next Wednesday. I'm going to be in Limpopo. At the moment, our numbers are giving us an indication of ActionSA taking over this ward. At the moment, I can confidently tell you it's a two-horse race. It's between ActionSA and EFF. But based on the numbers and daily work that we are doing, ActionSA is already way ahead. So we are going to need a miracle for us to not win this by-election. And you can imagine now winning a by-election in rural the province where South Africans were under impression that ANC cannot be unseated. We proved as ActionSA that we can unseat the ANC here in Gauteng. And now we're going throughout the country. You know, we've already participated in 2-year by-elections in Nelson Mandela Bay, where we emerged as the third biggest political party in that by-election last year. We contested in another one where we also emerged as the third biggest party. So this is the fourth one, and we're looking at more coming this year. So next week's one in Limpopo is going to really be a historic one. We're confident. I said to our provincial chairperson, Sello Lidikha, 2 days ago, I said, Sello, I've already booked a press conference to announce ActionSA first ward councillor in Limpopo.
Thank you so much, Mr. Herman Mashaba. That'll be in the backyard of Julius Malema, the EFF leader. It won't be very easy to win in that area, but Mr. Mashaba, confident of their performance. It's really about that, the by-elections and those results that will determine whether or not they are able to achieve their objective of unseating the ANC. And Mr. Mashaba, not having much to say about Mr. Abel Tau, but certainly scathing against the ANC government and the current energy crisis. Dudu, it's back to you.
Yeah, in fact, going as far as saying that how can you ask car hijackers to help you solve the car hijacking crisis in the country? Well,